Hey, thanks for checking out the video. This is Nigel. I promised a video or a live video. Technically, I could not get that to work because of bandwidth issues on my side. No big deal. So I decided to generate a video instead. Purpose of this, for those of you that know me, is to continue hopefully bridging that gap between two-dimensionally generated signage and 3D signage. Eventually, with the onslaught of 3D technology as it marauds the market, it's going to become a competitive advantage to be able to generate signage, graphics, so on and so forth, using 3D generated graphics. The vast majority of signage is two-dimensional, and to generate a 3D sign is fairly time consuming, and it takes a while obviously and is expensive. The beauty of 3D is that it allows you to generate signage in a three-dimensional manner, and it's inexpensive and it does not take long to do it. There is a knowledge gap, however, with a lot of graphic designers who generate 2D graphics, and what my goal is to bridge that gap. So I just wanted to show you some of the designs. This particular sign was something I created very quickly. It's a coffee shop sign that you might see somewhere around. Now, if this was a 2D graphic, that's what you'd see on the wall, but the beauty of 3D is that I'm able to create something that has depth, that you can manipulate three-dimensionally. And the reality is that I could actually print this out on my 3D printer in a variety of large sizes. We're not limited to very small output anymore in the color that you see, and I will generate this at some point in the next couple of days. Another sign that I created was this particular bike shop signage, and if you look, apologies, if you look at that as a 2D sign, you print that in a variety of colors on a metal sign or whatever. But the beauty of 3D is the ability to create that in a three-dimensional workspace, and you can output it as you see it, so it would actually look like the cogs. Raised signage at a little mountain range, and we can do it in the various colors. I actually printed this one out, and it is on my LinkedIn, one of my LinkedIn postings. So anyway, let's get going. The purpose of this particular thing that I'm doing is to show you how you can use a 3D design program like Autodesk Fusion 360 to generate 3D graphics. And again, I can't stress how important I feel this is that we need to bridge that gap. We need to get artists and so on, so people thinking in a three-dimensional mindset of what you can do to be competitive, to add a competitive advantage to what you do. And this is just to give you an idea of not how you use the software, because that's way beyond this, and there are people who are much smarter than I am, but how you can use it, or just an example of what can be done to generate forms very quickly. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create a very simple jug here. I'll show you very quickly how we can generate this shell, so on and so forth, very quickly, and generate a handle for it. So what I'm going to do is sketch. We're going to sketch a spline. We're going to do it right on this two-dimensional plane here. And the great thing about splines, if you're familiar with them, is basically a series of points with curvature which we can manipulate. And what we're trying to do is generate a profile here. Now there are key commands for these various commands, but we're going to generate a few lines. So I'm going to close this sketch, stop the sketch, and you can see that's what it looks like. What I want to do now is I want to turn this particular sketch, this plane, into a three-dimensional object, and the way we can do that is very easy here. Is what I'm going to do is I am going to revolve this particular sketch on this plane, and you can see, if you take a look at this, it's taken that particular two-dimensional sketch, it's revolved it around 360 degrees. Now I could actually have done that 90 degrees, I could do it 180. Why would I do that? Well, if I was doing this for a signage and I wanted to have a 3D look to, say, a jug on, say, a pottery signage, I could do this. Now, I'm going to go back to the 360 real quick, click on OK, and hopefully, there we go. Now, that's not a particularly good jug because you can't pour anything into it. So what I want to do is I want to generate a shell of this. So I'm going to select the top, say 2 millimeters, and click on OK. And if we look, we can look down into it. You can see that it's got a thickness of 2 millimeters. Now, obviously, a jug doesn't have a flat edge on the top like that, so we're going to modify that. We could do a chamfer, which is a straight edge, or a fillet, which is a rounded edge. Let's say 10 millimeters. And if we look very, very quickly, you can see we have a rounded profile to the lip on there. Okay, great. Well, a jug without a handle is not particularly useful, so what I'm going to do is we're going to put a handle on here very, very quickly. And the way we do that very, very quickly is to go into the sculpting environment, and I'm going to use the same feature that I used before. I'm going to sketch a spline, and we're going to specify the plane that runs through the center of the object. That'll make sense in a minute when I sketch. So what I'm going to do is come up here to the edge, and I'm going to end there, stop that. And if we take a look at this, you can see what I mean. You can see that right through the center of that jug that's the plane on which I'm sketching. I've created this spline. What I want to do right now is I actually want to extrude that, and you can see that I actually extruded it from the 8 millimeters, but let's say I want to do 10 millimeters. All right, I'm going to click on OK. What that doesn't do us any good because there's actually no depth to that. It's not a particularly practical handle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thicken that, and we're going to go there, and we're going to thicken this object. I've got 3 millimeter. I want soft edges. We click on OK. You can see that I have a handle. So I'm going to finish this form. Now you can see that it's not a particularly good handle because it's in space. So what I want to do is I want to move and manipulate that. And what I'm going to do, let me show you in a three-dimensional manner, is I actually want to rotate that somewhat, and then I'm going to move it, pull it out just a hair, and click on OK. And what we have is a jug with a handle. Not bad, eh? Now at this point I could actually 3D print that, which in this particular environment is very easy to do. Make 3D print, and at this point I would actually select this. What may happen here is it may actually define, it didn't define that, so what I have to do, I would have to combine that with the other object, which I can do very, very easily. I go modify, combine, select that object, click on OK, and when I go make 3D print, I can reselect, and I'll get the whole object, and click on OK, and let's save that as body 1, save it to the desktop, and we have ourselves a 3-dimensional object. Let me see if I can't pull it up real quickly. And there you go. We have our 3D generated object. So let me go back to Fusion 360 real quick. And so one of the questions that I get is, well, okay, that's great. What about a lip on the jug? Well, the way we do that is we would actually generate the same thing in the sculpting environment. Pick a plane, do a really basic spline object, same thing. Sketch a line so we get our closed space. And what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to revolve that particular object around the center axis. Click on OK. And what we would do here is we would actually manipulate some of the faces, and we're going to edit. And what it does is it gives us the ability to pull and so on. Or we could have, change it up, so on and so forth. And we'd actually get a, we could generate a lip, so on and so forth. Just to give you an idea of one of the things that I generated previously, if I can find it, was the duck lip jug. And the duck lip jug was generated using that particular feature in Sculpt, create a handle, so on and so forth. So that's it. That was just a real brief overview of Fusion 360, why I love it. It wasn't intended to show you how to use it. If you got any questions, let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And hopefully I can get the live stuff up and running soon. And let's turn our 2D graphics into 3D graphics. Thanks.